I smell a honkin' jobby. Prick! Hi. I haven't done a video in a while. Since my cat died, I think. That was the last one I did. Anyway, for some reason they've got this, they've been putting this thing out there, everybody has to wear face masks now and all sorts. But the reality is, when the UK government and Scottish government are fighting amongst each other, nobody really bothers. It's like our local supermarket is not going to, the supermarket I normally go to, sorry, it's not going to enforce any kind of law whatsoever. It's had people work for them that have collapsed in the shop. They've had people collapse outside their shop because of the heat and because they have to wear masks, and so it's all, whether it's mandatory, I mean, it's not really mandatory, they're not even enforcing it, they're neutral, and so I'm going to continue shopping there. But the shop across from the supermarket, I had to go in there last night to get electricity, and it's the only place close by to get electricity, and it was kind of important I got electricity anyway. They insisted that I wore a mask, even though I do have a legitimate health complaint which allows me not to wear the mask. They insisted on it, so I put this fucking scarf on. I'll show you the scarf. I figured it was only 30 seconds. This is it. This is what I wore. Like some old-fashioned 1930s scarf. I don't know. It's quite. Anyway. So I carry that with me, but I don't wear it unless I've got no choice. I'll shop somewhere else if I, but I couldn't because it was electricity. I needed it. It was the only place I had it. So I went in there, and I thought, well, I'm only going to be in there 30 seconds. Hand over my electric card, get my electric, get out, 30 seconds. It's not going to affect me too much. Boy, did it affect me. Not only did it take her about a minute and a half to get the change out of the fucking till, I'm not sure what she was doing, but I was like breathing, I was getting hot and sweating. Oh god, this is getting. And then I felt really fucking tired. I felt my breathing was going. I thought, oh shit, hurry up with this fucking change. I grabbed the change, said thanks, ran out the fucking door, took it off the minute I got out, and then I was fine. A couple of minutes later I was fine. So yeah, it is quite a thick scarf. It's got wool on the inside. I didn't know that when I picked it up. It's got wool on the inside. I didn't know that when I picked it up. It was in the drawer upstairs. I don't know whose it was. My dad's, my mum's, I don't know whose it was. It's actually a decent made scarf, but silk on the outside, and it's really nice. I think I might as well look fashionable. Anyway, so that's the only time I've ever worn a scarf, and as long as my supermarket continues with what it's doing, I'm fine to go there. It's brilliant. Nobody is really bothered. There's people wearing masks, but there's more people not wearing them. Nobody's really bothered. Even doctors, I mean, I'm not going to mention any names of doctors because one of them was my doctor and the other one is another doctor that's still here, and they were offering any excuse to give someone a exemption card. If they've got any kind of respiratory illness, no matter how minor or any illness that could be connected to the respiratory system in any way, they're being offered a thing. If they ask for it, they're offered it. They're offered a medical certificate thing. But you don't actually need it. You just have to show them your inhaler. If you've got an inhaler, you can show them that, and they'll have to. In most cases, they have to, but a lot of them aren't. Anyway, I didn't want to talk about that. I was going to talk about something else. A lot of weird stuff's been happening around here lately. I took video footage of a light that came in the sky. A massive light, and all these things came out of it. Now, I thought this was going to be awesome to show on video. The only thing is my computer went down and I lost it all. I've got photographs of it. I've got photographs of everything that came out of it. And I've got a few photographs of the moon, sort of with this metal mesh thing behind it. Oh, and a face. There's a moon, there's a picture of the moon, and there's a slight face behind the moon looking out of it. Not the man in the moon, on the moon, the man behind the moon. I swear to God, I'm convinced there's a massive curtain behind that. I'm not even convinced this is a parallel Earth. No, honestly, it would be easier to say this is a parallel Earth. I'm not even convinced it is Earth. I'm not convinced that this is a temporary place. And I'll tell you why I think it's a temporary place. For the simple reason that everything here seems to only last temporarily. Garden gates rusting out of nowhere. They've been around. I'm not even joking. You want to see something? Actually, it's gone. Remember that. Find another one. What the fuck? Just when you've got evidence of stainless steel rusting in front of your eyes, suddenly the rust is no longer there. Let's have a look. Wait a minute. See if I can get this. There's no way you can't really see it, can you? Put the light on. I'll put the light on and we'll see what we can see. Everything was rusting for a while, now suddenly it's all... No. There. You can see the rust appearing on the fucking spoon, can you? Just a little bit of rust. Not much, there was a lot of rust before. I was going to throw them out and get a new set. Or find a new set in the house. My mum had heaps of them. Might even use the posh stuff. But anyway, there was rust. Anyway, there's rust appearing on stainless steel spoons and God knows what else. Yeah, the microwave, for example. If you try to set the timer on the microwave, if you can understand fucking what the numbers are, I'd love to know, because they don't. Half the lines that make up the numbers are missing, so you have to guess what the time is that you're putting in and all this sort of stuff. It's just I don't use the microwave here. It's just bonkers. The TV switches itself on and off in the middle of the night, and then when you try to switch on during the day, you have to wait 30 minutes for it to work. So I don't really watch TV much anymore. My computer keeps breaking down every 5 minutes, and then I have to reinstall the entire operating system, and then it's fine. And then the next time we shift, it's fucked again. Excuse the language. I was trying not to use any language. Well, any, bad language anyway. So everything here seems to be a temporary thing. It's here to survive just as long as it needs to be here, and then it's gone. So in other words, it's temporary until we shift. That is what I'm getting at this place. This place is so weird. Back on the Sagittarius arm, a lot of strange stuff happened in my reality, right? Lots of stuff that, makes this reality look... Well, my reality was great. In my opinion, it was great compared to this place. But this place is bonkers. But there's a lot of weird stuff happening here that happened in my reality, and I'm feeling quite comfortable with that, despite the fact that I don't particularly like this reality at all at the moment. Let's see, what else is there? There was something else. People keep going on, well, if the Mandela effect is real, where's all the extreme realities? We're in the middle of a fucking coronavirus reality. And as far as I know, as far as I was told this morning, I did check on the internet, apparently there's a bubonic plague that still exists in this reality that died out in the 1800s, as far as I'm concerned. Died out in the 1800s. Bubonic plague. It exists in this reality now. That is extreme for me. Fucking hell, this fake, this not really fake virus. In fact, it's 100% real because I want to stay on YouTube. It isn't. But as far as YouTube is concerned, it is 100% real and we're all going to die of it. But as far as normal people are concerned, it's fake as fuck. And the evidence supports that. And the people on TV, I've heard radio interviews where people have said that in radio interviews, that it's fake. And nobody questions the fact, and nobody seems to hear it, except for me or other people associated with the Mandela effect. So they're obviously in their own reality, hearing what they want to hear, and we're stuck here hearing what the fuck's going on here, kind of shit. I don't know. It's all messed up. I mean, I can. But people saying, "Oh, well, how come it's just logo changes and not extreme stuff?" Well, history is completely different. Fucking hell, oh God, I mean, if I went into some of the extreme realities that I've seen, I know a lot of Mandela people wouldn't believe half of what I'm going to say. Which is why I don't say the extreme ones. But I have mentioned the Queen. The Queen admitted she was a reptile to the whole Commonwealth country after she showed her true colours during her birthday celebrations. Now, I can't remember whether it was a reptilian birthday or her official birthday. It was one or the other. It would have been very funny if it was a reptilian birthday, because it would have been sort of like poetic justice. That happened. She admitted it on her own website, and then it was gone. And then recently I posted a video where it all reappeared, all the evidence that was once there. I've just spat on my camera lens. Anyway, there was a Hillary Clinton reality. I will not mention that because I mentioned that in another reality. And Americans went apeshit. Apparently they like Hillary Clinton over there. Why? I have no fucking idea. Sorry for the swearing again, but this really gets on my wick, some of this stuff. Anyway, I suppose a big with what I was going to do the video about anyway. What the fuck was I going to do the video about? I don't know, I've just had a lot of stuff on my mind lately. Oh right. What evidence I've got left of the moon and a few other things. There's a lot of strange paranormal stuff happening here that is so open to certain people. It is unbelievable. I mean, last week, I had this weird dream, and it was just so weird. And I was told to take my camera out with me, which I do always anyway. I've done that since I was on the Sagittarius Arm, because on the Sagittarius Arm there was a lot of UFOs and I wanted to get capture footage of it. Fuck all UFOs here. Well, they do occasionally, but not to the same extent as they did on my reality, especially right before the Mandela effect. I'll say it, I get the feeling that we were evacuated from my reality because my reality was destroyed by a meteorite. There's fucking extreme for you. Now, although certain people say the Sagittarius Arm is still there, and I'm sure it is for some people, my reality is gone. And I know that because the BBC banged on about it, and no fucker believed them. Ironically, they were telling the truth for the first time in their lives. Okay, that's an odd one. So I'm convinced my reality was hit by a meteorite, and we were evacuated by ETs. It's not any more crazier than the Mandela effect. In fact, it makes a lot more fucking sense. But, like I say, this is a temporary reality, and there's a lot of stuff here that maybe should be here or shouldn't be here, but it's all temporary. It just seems like it's just a temporary stopgap between what's going to happen next. From where we've come from to where we're going to, this is a stopgap. That's what it feels like. And everything is temporary. That's just what it feels like. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, you know? Every truth that has ever been out there in any reality seems to be here and in everyone's face, yet nobody seems to see it. I don't know. This is either a stopgap for where we're going to go, or this is a place where people have to make that decision on what side of the fence they're on. And there's no going back after they've made that decision. So you've got to make the right choice. And I think this is the reality, that this is going to start dividing everything. Some people are going to go off one way and some people are going to go off the other. I'm sure of that. It's just too many weird stuff's happened over the years that has made this a possibility. The only reason I started doing these videos was because, first of all, I was never going to do any of these videos. I'm not the sort of person who would do these videos. I wanted to be a serious journalist. I wanted to cover the truth. But if there's one thing I've learned about the truth is it doesn't exist. Or at least it didn't exist in a one-dimensional world. In a 3D world, in one reality, the truth does not exist. But in all realities, all the truth exists, because in each reality, the way I see it, in each reality, certain lies weren't able to be covered up and certain truths were exposed. So if you merge all of this together, then you get all the truth and all the lies in the one place, and therefore the entire truth is out there. That's weird. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Sony logo, the Sony logo on my camera, and it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It probably is right. It didn't look right to me for a minute there. Oh, that reminds me. I nearly accepted the update. I nearly accepted an update the other day. Somebody did a video, and I can't remember who it was. It was an American guy. He did something on Frankie Howard's last name, and I nearly took the update to say it was always that way, and I knew it wasn't. And I was fighting so hard not to take the update, because I grew up watching Frankie Howard and Carry On films, and Up the Front and Up the Chastity Belt and Up Pompeii and all those shows, you know, that he was in. He was a very funny guy. And there was an actor who was in the film Dogma who always reminded me of him, because he always had the same mannerisms and all that as this guy, and I just thought it was a bit odd. They both looked exactly the same person. They looked similar, they acted similar, but that's irrelevant. The point was, his name changed to Frankie Howard from Howard to what I remember it being to Howerd. But apparently his name, there was no explanation why of this on Wikipedia when I looked. No explanation why. And then suddenly, the following day, there was an explanation that his name originally was Howard with ARD, but they changed it to ERD because he wanted to stand out different from everybody else. Now that was never there when the Mandela effect first happened, but then that in itself became a Mandela effect, and suddenly the explanation was there. And that is why I think CERN is involved with the Mandela effect. Simply to change stuff on the internet when they hear of Mandela effect, to make it look like it was always that way. That is it. They have no power whatsoever. That is their power, the internet. That's all they've got. You know, I used to give them no credit at all. To me, CERN never existed. Mandela effect people still go on about CERN, about how CERN's responsible for the Mandela effect. No, CERN was a Mandela effect for me when I first came to when I first started seeing the Mandela effect along with everybody else. I'll say that because the Mandela effect's been around a long time. And certain things I know as a kid changed during the Iranian embassy siege and all that sort of stuff. I'm not going to go into all that because that's a whole different thing. I'm going off on too many tangents here. But yeah, there was stuff that happened back then as well. So there was no CERN on where I came from. There is no CERN. There was no CERN when I first got to the Orion Arm, or the Orion Spur, whichever one it was at the time. I think it was the Orion Spur. Now, they didn't exist. CERN didn't exist for at least 2 years or so, but everybody keeps saying it's CERN that's causing this. Yeah, CERN never existed. It was a Mandela effect for me, and it was only around a couple of years, and then it was around maybe 5 years, and then it was 10 years, and then it was about 20 years, 40 years, and something that's been around, I don't know how long it's been around now, but I bet it's more than 40 years, and apparently they invented the internet. Now, I'm no expert on the internet, but in my reality, it was MIT, a group of scientists at MIT, 2 guys in Europe, and there was a Scottish guy who invented something called instant message email or something. and it was like the early email thing, and they implemented that, and then they turned it into the main email thing. But it was basically MIT and European scientists, but mostly MIT, I think. That's my knowledge of the internet back then. But alright, I've talked for ages. I want to show you these photographs. So I'm going to switch off this until I can switch back on in a minute. Alright, this is quite difficult to do actually, because my editing equipment isn't working too well. It never works well with this computer. So I'm not sure how well it's going to come out, me doing it this way. And it is quite difficult to go through the computer and have this in front of the screen without moving it. I can barely see what I'm doing. Right, that's the portal that opened up in the sky, and that was... I saw it. This old woman saw it across the road. She saw it because she was out looking for a cat. That's it closing, in case anyone says. It's not Venus. Venus wasn't out that night. At least I didn't see it. And it was moving about, so it wasn't really a... So it's some sort of portal. I should point out though that the rumbling noise in the sky is actually portals. They're... I'm not going to say UFOs, but they are balls of light that come in and come out of that reality. We knew that in the Sagittarius sign where I come from. In my reality, we knew that. We've known that for years. We just knew that. We knew a lot more on my reality than a lot of other people know. Let's go to the moon. I've got to find the right one, of course. There's the moon. It's not a very good shot. Here's the moon. There's the moon with a grid. Now, that's whatever. That night the moon actually moved. I actually saw it moving, and that was what was behind it. Now, it looks like a grid, mesh wire or something. I'm not sure what that is. I've got a few photographs of that. It's a bit slow in switching over. God, it's not even switching over. Yeah. I've got quite a few of that mesh stuff on it. Great, it's not even... There it is. Right. It's changing. It's right round, as you can see. It's all the way around the one side of the moon. Not sure what that is. This is a small one. Something else that's quite unusual. See, I wish I could do this. I wish I had proper editing equipment to do this properly, because you're not going to see this very well. There's actually faces appearing from behind the moon. They look like faces. I don't know what the fuck it else to say. There's one good one, and it's not going to show up very well on here. There you go, there's another one. That's actually... Look at that. Hair, eyes, nose, mouth, and God knows what that is at the front. Now you've seen all those photographs of faces on the moon. These are faces coming out from the side of the moon. Now I'm not saying they are faces, I'm just saying that they all look pretty suspicious, and I've taken heaps of these photographs, and they all have these weird looking faces on them from somewhere. There's the one that looks really like a face. Oh my god, it is picking up quite well on the camera. Mouth, chin, eyes, eyebrows. Don't know what that is down there. It's probably something else up there too. Even if this is a coincidence, it is a very... Oh, look at him. There's a bloody dog up there. I know they sent a dog up into space, but you don't expect it to come back years later in a photograph, do you? That's either a dog or a cat. Okay, this could all be just big coincidences. But every photograph I took that night, the last couple of nights, sorry, well, it was last week, but there was a couple I did last night. They all have these bloody faces in there, and I know you'll argue that they're not faces. I guarantee you'll argue they're not faces. I swear to God they are. I see faces and everything now. It's I gotta get away from these fucking things. A few more with that grid thing. What's this one? God, more blooming whatever that they are. Alright, I'm gonna move off the moon in a minute. There's a grid one, there's another grid one. Okay, this is a photograph that's quite good. I have to zoom out a bit. You can't see anything, so I'm gonna. There's an orb. Wait, I've got one that's zoomed up somewhere. I can get it to go into. That is a zoomed up one. It didn't. Oh crap! It's changed. Right, that's the original photograph, but I'm gonna go on the zoomed up one. It doesn't look zoomed up on the camera. I'm looking through the lens as I'm trying to work the bloody thing to make sure I've got it on screen. Now, I can zoom the camera and you can see that. See that orb up there? Now, these type of photographs have been taken all over the world. The orb's up there and it's following something down here. This, down here. Better not zoom it in anymore. There. Now, in other countries they're saying that the orb is following this thing at the bottom. The orb up here is following that. These photographs appear all over the world. Now, my take is that the orb came out of that and is basically just, I know, grabbing information from somewhere. You know, I have no idea what the fuck it is. That's what I believe anyway, but only because, yeah, well, this is on the Sagittarius side of the galaxy. Stuff like this wasn't uncommon, but anyway, well, not for some people anyway. I'm sure some realities were fairly more normal. My reality was always a bit weird. What else is there? Oh, you want to? Oh, yeah. You want to see what came out of the portal? The one at night. I forgot to show that. See if I can find the bloody thing first of all. Here we are. Right, that was just the portal. Had just. Oh no, that's the one where it disappeared. What the fuck am I? Here we are. That. All that came out of the portal. Now, I've had people say that's insects. In Scotland at night, even midges don't show up on camera like that. This is fucking. It looks. Some people said, "Oh, it's fog or rain." There's no fog or rain that night. In fact, not only was there no fog and rain that night, the only reason there's such a what looks like a mist in the background is because all those orbs are reflecting off the lights, and my camera's picking up on all of it. A couple of minutes later, and they were gone, apart from a couple that were still hanging around, of course. But that was a couple of minutes after that one, in case you're wondering. They disappeared for a while, and then they sort of came back, followed me around. I could feel them around me. That's the weird thing. I could feel them moving around me. It was a bit. It felt weird, but it didn't feel bad. Not evil anyway, but that was the other side when I turned around. They were behind me. They disappeared in front of me and then they were suddenly behind me. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. This was them following me home. I don't even believe any of this. I've never seen anything like this in all my years of taking photographs. I've never had this many orbs appear in a shot ever. Even in graveyards. There they were again. Where are we? And then they disappeared again. Gone. Nowhere to be seen. I still can't believe that. I can't believe I saw all that. I can't believe I got any of it on... I had it all on video as well, but I lost the fucking video. I managed to get back the actual... I managed to recover some of the photographs, but not all of them. But I couldn't get back the videos. They were all... I just couldn't get them to work. Anyway. So that's it. There's nothing else to really... Oh! I found this little... This is just a bit of a... Don't take this seriously, but this was a bit of fun. This is an episode of an old sitcom. This is a photograph of an old sitcom called Porridge. Take a look in the background of this. Tell me what you see in the background. And I admit it doesn't look as good in the background. Take a look at that in the background. Does that or does that not look like an ET sitting in the background? I was just cleaning the camera because I was out in the I was out with my camera in the rain doing something else, and I was wiping it clean and it went off accidentally and took a photograph of that. It's an episode of Porridge. It's not a sci-fi thing, it's about prisons. A comedy about prisons. So there shouldn't be any ETs in it unless they've got to deal with the acting agency, which then of course it's all above board, of course. Don't take it seriously. I don't know what that is. It's just another weird thing that's happened. What's this? What the hell's this? Oh, oh yeah, there was this too. This was God, this was a while ago. Let me zoom in on this a bit. An insect I caught in the house. At least I thought it was an insect. I've never seen anything like that in my life, ever. First I thought it was just a, I don't know, some sort of light reflection or something. Don't know what it was. And then it moved. Zoom in a bit here. Shit, it's not going to work, is it? There. I smell a honkin' jobby. Plack!